All right, so we're here to talk about the order of operations that we go through in language arts. Because just like math, you have a specific set of steps to go through to get to a solid final answer. We have the same thing in language arts. So today's learning target is I can analyze evidence to find and support a claim that directly responds to a prompt. Now, I know you're already familiar with a few different orders when it comes to CERs, and that is a CER and its various variations. However, it's really important to know that these orders are all about how information is written and presented at the end of the process. This is not how the process begins. So, we're going to take a step back and figure out what are the order of operations we need to go through to actually be able to write a CER paragraph at the end of our process. Now, there's kind of a weird but interesting and I think helpful way I want you to think about CERs. I want you to think about it as if you are a detective. So let's figure it out. What do I mean by that? Well, you want to answer a question or a prompt. A detective is trying to answer the prompt of who committed a crime. And a good detective is going to start by looking at all the evidence that's around them and let the evidence provide the answer to them. They're not going to walk in there trying to blame somebody already, because if they do that, they're not going to look at all the evidence. There's a really good possibility that they're going to be wrong or not support their theory well enough, and the right person is actually going to get away innocent. That's not what a detective wants. A detective wants to get the right person who actually committed the crime. So they are going to look at the evidence and ask, what does it show me is the answer? So if we put it back into CER writing terms, here's what you're going to do is look at all the evidence you are provided first. So if you're given a text, giving any kind of picture, video, whatever it is that you are supposed to answer the question about, you want to go through all the evidence that you're given and take notes on what you're thinking about it as you're going through it. Just don't get stuck on one theory. Make sure you're looking at everything. After that, then you want to start asking yourselves questions like, what is the evidence actually telling me? What is the prompt telling me? What does it say about the prompt? And these things right there are really helping you go back and through and say, what is it saying? How does this connect to the question? And what other pieces of evidence that stand out? This will eventually help you figure out the evidence part of your CER. It's going to help you pick those things. But where do the R and the C come from? The reasoning actually comes down here when you start thinking about what does the evidence make me think. When I put it all together, what thoughts go through my head? That's going to end up being your reasoning. And finally, you're going to put it all together in one sentence to really go back and actually answer the prompt, and that is your claim. So you actually go E, R, C is your actual order of operations when you are first given a prompt. So let's do a quick example of how this looks. So I have a prompt here. When and where was this picture taken? And I have a picture right here, and I'm going to look through the different things and write down some of my thoughts. So, first of all, it's nighttime. I have a very distinctive building. I see snow. I see these various lights that make me think stuff, and I see greenery, and down here I see people. So first of all, my thoughts are this. This is in Moscow. Now, that's because I know this building is very famous and it's a church in Moscow. I'm seeing evidence like the snow, which makes me think it is winter, which is probably why it's night. And then I see these lights and that greenery kind of makes me think it's probably Christmas time because they remind me of Christmas decorations. And then I see all these people bundled up outside walking around. So I wonder if this is some kind of market or festival, because that is the only reason I can think to be outside in the cold at night in the middle of winter in Moscow. So I have my evidence from the picture, I have my thoughts and my reasoning that I've kind of worked out together, and then I want to figure out my claim. My claim is going to be, this picture was taken in Moscow at a Christmas festival or market. And there's my one sentence claim that I got to by looking at my evidence and through my reasoning, which takes us to our final step, our final order of operations. Now that we thought like a detective to figure out what goes into the CER, now we get to think about it like a lawyer presenting their case to the judge to prove that this criminal, this answer is the one that actually answers and is correct. So you then provide, here's my answer, here's my evidence, and here's my reasoning to prove my point. So our order of operations starts with ERC to collect evidence and figure out the answer, and then CER to actually present the information.